This space functions as an intersection. It is where intellect, written revelation, and structural order are brought into a single coherent view. We are currently living through a period of epistemological crisis. Much of modern culture operates on the assumption that a purely materialistic universe, one defined only by physical matter, is the rational baseline for all thought. This assumption creates a very specific, rigid hierarchy. It suggests that belief in a creator must be categorized as a leap of faith, an idea existing outside the boundaries of evidence and reason. However, a purely physical model struggles to account for the existence of subjective consciousness or the objective truth of mathematics. Neither fits into a world governed strictly by the movement of atoms. Their presence suggests the materialistic map is missing key dimensions of reality. Dr. Sami Ameri proposes a different path to certainty, or yaqeen. It rests on the idea that truth is not found in a single, isolated argument. Valid certainty requires a cumulative matrix. It is the result of aligning multiple, independent vectors of reality to see if they converge. This matrix uses three distinct axes: the internal psychology of the self, the formal rules of logic, and the empirical data of science. A robust worldview must remain stable when tested across all three of these domains simultaneously. If a model of reality fails in one, it reveals itself as an incomplete explanation of existence. We begin with the innermost layer, human psychology, and the concept of fitra. Fitra describes humanity's baseline cognitive operating system, the innate orientations we possess before external social conditioning takes hold. One primary feature of this system is the recognition of objective morality. In a universe consisting only of particles and forces, physics and chemistry contain no moral properties. Atoms are neither good nor evil. If we are the products of a purely materialist process, our sense of right and wrong is merely an evolutionary survival mechanism. Yet our internal experience suggests that moral laws are as objective and unmoving as the laws of geometry. Humans universally act as if certain moral truths transcend biology and societal constructs. We operate with a sense of justice that physical matter alone cannot generate. This relates to the psychological state of al-iftikar, or the sense of contingency. It is the persistent human drive to seek an ultimate, transcendent purpose. Materialism describes a closed-loop universe with no inherent intention. Within that model, the human search for ultimate meaning has no valid target. Just as these birds shift in response to an unseen magnetic field, the human psyche orientates itself toward a reality beyond the immediate physical environment. If our baseline cognitive hardware functions on the requirement of objective morality and transcendent meaning, then a purely material universe is an environment that contradicts our own nature. Moving from internal psychology to objective reason, we apply the formal framework of akal, or logic. This framework relies on the distinction between things that are contingent and things that are necessary. A contingent entity is anything that requires an external cause or prior conditions to exist. It does not contain the reason for its own existence within itself. Every component of the physical universe, from a single atom to the cosmic microwave background, is contingent. If you attempt to explain a chain of contingent things using only other contingent things, you create a sequence that never reaches a beginning.
Logic identifies this as an infinite regress. If an infinite number of prior dependent events had to occur before the present moment could exist, the present moment would never be reached. The only mathematical solution to resolve this regress is the existence of an independent, non-contingent origin point. This dictates the existence of a necessary being, a reality that exists independently of prior causes, space, and time. A common response to this logic is the question, if everything needs a creator, who created the creator? This question misapplies the rules of contingent things to a non-contingent entity. By definition, a necessary being is the uncaused foundation that allows all other causes to exist. To reject this foundation is to accept a structural violation of the laws of causality that govern all rational thought. Finally, we look to the outermost layer, ilm, the domain of empirical science and observable data. Science maps the physical mechanisms of the universe. While it is highly effective at describing how things work, it is not designed to explain why there is something rather than nothing. However, the data reveals a high degree of fine-tuning in the fundamental constants of physics. If constants like the strength of gravity or the expansion rate of the universe were altered by a fraction, the cosmos would either collapse or disperse before matter could ever form. We exist within an incredibly narrow range of physical possibilities. This leads to the problem of the intelligibility of the universe. We must ask why the cosmos follows stable mathematical laws that we can actually comprehend. The fact that the universe is mathematically coherent is the primary data point of all science. It suggests an underlying order that the mind is capable of mirroring. Materialism relies on a foundation of unguided randomness, yet we observe a system defined by mathematical precision and orbital geometry. The multiverse theory is often used to explain away this precision. This theory posits an infinite number of universes to make our own high-probability existence seem inevitable. But the multiverse remains a philosophical speculation. It lacks empirical evidence. It functions as an attempt to bypass the statistical reality of a universe that appears to be mathematically tuned. Empirical science uncovers a reality of extreme precision and mathematical elegance, features that point toward a designing intellect. These three domains come together to form a cumulative case. We are looking at a convergence of evidence from three distinct directions. The psychological drive for meaning aligns with the logical necessity for a first cause, which is then confirmed by the mathematical precision of the stars. Within a materialist framework, these three areas are fragmented. The materialist must rely on their scientific findings, while simultaneously believing the mind that interprets them and the logic it uses is merely a byproduct of unguided atoms. In contrast, the theistic model allows these domains to function as a single, consistent framework. It reconciles our moral intuition, our logical deductions, and our scientific observations. This complete synthesis is the true foundation of theological knowledge. Faith, in this tradition, is the rigorous application of the intellect across all layers of reality. Certainty is reached when we honor our own humanity, follow the path of logic, and observe the precision of the universe.